All right, welcome to The Explainer. We're here to cut right through the noise and give you the essential news, the stuff you actually need to know. We'll connect the dots on all the big stories so you can stay prepared and ahead of the curve. Let's get right into it. So, here's what's on the agenda today. We're kicking things off at home with some major political updates. Then, we'll zoom out to the international stage to talk defense strategy. After that, it's all about the economy, checking the nation's financial pulse. Then we'll tackle some really critical environmental and social issues, and we'll finish up with a fast-paced roundup of key stories from across the states. Okay, let's dive right into our first section, National Affairs and Polity. We've got three huge stories on our radar today, and they really cover the gamut, from high-level corruption cases all the way to the integrity of our election process itself. Let's break it down. So, first up, a major move in Punjab. The governor has officially sanctioned the prosecution of former Minister Bikram Singh Majithia. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, under the Prevention of Corruption Act, you can't just take a public servant to court. You need this official go-ahead, this sanction from a cop authority like the governor. It's a really crucial check and balance built right into the system. All right, now over to West Bengal. We're hearing that the folks on the ground, the booth-level officers, are demanding central security for the upcoming voter roll revision. And look, this is way more than just a logistical request. It really puts a spotlight on the incredible pressure the Election Commission is under. And it brings up some really tough questions, right? Questions about how the center and states work together to make sure our elections are actually free and fair. And then, turning our gaze internationally for a moment, 4 U.S. lawmakers have just introduced a resolution, and it's a powerful one. They want to officially recognize the 1984 anti-Sikh riots as a genocide. This is a perfect example of that international dimension we talk about, showing how historical events from decades ago can still have a massive impact on diplomacy and community relations today. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We're moving from domestic affairs to the international arena. And specifically, we're looking at India's strategic environment, because things are really starting to heat up, especially in the maritime domain. Okay, take a look at this. What's so fascinating here is that both India and Pakistan are running these huge naval exercises at the same time, and you can see their zones of operation are actually overlapping in the northern Arabian Sea. There's no clearer signal of heightened strategic posturing, really. It's a classic case of both sides flexing their muscles. And this quote really puts it all into perspective. The U.S. Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, comes right out and says it. We must ensure that China is not seeking to dominate you or anybody else. This statement is huge. It explicitly frames why this kind of regional security cooperation is so important right now. It's all about creating a counterbalance to China's growing influence. It's the bigger picture behind all these military drills. All right, time to turn to the economy and governance. We've got a key economic indicator I want to show you, and then 2 pretty major stories that frankly raise some serious questions about financial integrity, not just here, but internationally as well. So the GST numbers for October are out, and wow, we're looking at a gross collection of nearly 1.96 lakh crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's the 5th highest monthly collection ever. Now, this isn't just some abstract number on a spreadsheet. It's a really strong signal that the economy's buzzing, people are spending, businesses are active, and that's a very positive sign for the government's finances as we look ahead. Okay, circling back to that case in Punjab. The really crucial thing to grasp here is just the sheer scale of these allegations against Majithia. We're talking about assets valued at over 700 crore rupees. And the claim is that this is disproportionate to his known income by, get this, 1,200%. A staggering number. It's this kind of data that really gives weight to the governor's decision to sanction the prosecution. And then there's this story, which is straight out of a movie. A massive financial scandal is blowing up on the international stage. An Indian origin CEO, Bankim Brahmbhatt, is now reportedly on the run. The accusation? A fraud scheme worth over $500 million. This has sent absolute shockwaves through the U.S. private credit market. It's a huge story, and it's putting a global spotlight on corporate governance, or maybe the lack of it, and some serious regulatory loopholes. Okay, now for our next section, we're going to tackle 2 really pressing issues that affect people's daily lives directly. First, that recurring nightmare of urban air pollution, and second, the growing and sometimes tragic problem of human-wildlife conflict. Well, it was nice while it lasted, wasn't it? That brief respite is over. Delhi's air quality has taken a nosedive, with the AQI now at 303, which puts it firmly in the very poor category. And just like that, it's back. The annual air pollution crisis is upon us again, and everyone is asking the same question. What's actually being done about it? So you might be asking, why now? What caused the sudden spike? Well, it's basically a perfect storm of factors. You've got a change in wind direction that's just trapping all the bad stuff over the city. At the exact same time, there have been over 460 new farm fires in Punjab. You have to remember, farmers are on a super tight schedule to clear their fields for the next crop. It's this deadly combination of weather and agriculture that unfortunately creates this public health emergency year after year. And this is just a heartbreaking story out of Ghaziabad. A 45-year-old woman was tragically killed after a group of monkeys caused a fragile wall to collapse on her. This really highlights the growing menace and the severe challenges cities are facing with urban wildlife. It also brings up serious questions about administrative accountability. So serious, in fact, that the issue has now made its way to the High Court. All right, to wrap things up, let's do a quick-fire round of some other important news coming in from across the states. First, in Andhra Pradesh, a terrible tragedy. 9 people were killed in a temple stampede. This immediately raises urgent questions about crowd management at religious gatherings. Then, in Goa, a tourist from UP was murdered, reportedly over a dispute about a rented SUV, putting a harsh spotlight on tourist safety. And finally, over in Bihar, the political scene is absolutely on fire, with both the NDA and India blocs holding massive rallies as the election battle intensifies. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one central question. We've talked about naval drills, pollution crises, election security, and it's easy to see them as separate stories. But are they really? The core question today is this: how can our policies and our governance actually adapt to all of these simultaneous and, more importantly, interconnected challenges? Because thinking critically about how all these pieces fit together, well, that's the key to truly understanding the complexities of what's happening today.